Most veterans are being told lies about the VA loan. And the problem is, a lot of this bad information, it sounds pretty official. And it comes from real estate agents, loan officers, or even other veterans. But when you actually look at the guidelines, most of it falls apart. And I'm going to walk you through the 5 biggest myths I hear from veterans each and every day. I'm going to show you what the truth actually is. And some of this might surprise you. This is the most common myth I hear, and it stops veterans from buying again. So here's the truth. You can use your VA loan as many times as you want. The only limit is your entitlement, and most veterans have way more entitlement than they think. If you sell your home and pay off your VA loan, your entitlement resets. You can use it again immediately. If you don't sell, you might still have enough entitlement left to buy a second property. And I've worked with veterans who are on a 3rd or 4th VA loan, when the benefit just doesn't disappear after one use. I actually made a few videos on my channel about how the VA entitlement system works, okay? How you can use more than one loan at the same time. You go and check out this video here, you can check it out. Okay, this myth probably started because older veterans remember when entitlement was much lower. That changed a few years ago, but the bad information is still out there. Okay, this one keeps veterans from even making offers. And the story goes like this. VA loans are slow, VA appraisals kill deals, sellers would rather work with conventional buyers, bull crap. And in some markets, that used to be partially true. But it's not 2015 anymore. VA loans close just as fast as conventional loans now, if not faster. And most of the time, they do close faster than FHA. And the appraisal process has been streamlined, and in a normal market like we're in now, sellers care about one thing. Can you close? If you're pre-approved and you're putting in a clean offer, most sellers really don't care what type of loan they're using. I've seen veterans lose out on homes because they assumed the seller wouldn't take them seriously, and they didn't even try, and that's leaving money on the table and they can't buy their new house. My name is Emmett Dempsey. I'm a mortgage broker here in Florida and a U.S. Army veteran, airborne. And I spent 17 years helping buyers and homeowners understand the real math behind VA loans, okay? And I have a VA loan myself, and I know how this works on both sides of the table. And if you would, just go ahead and hit the like on this button. I'd really appreciate it. And if you serve, go ahead and tell me where you serve. Personally, I served in South Korea and Fort Bragg. I jumped out of airplanes. So thank you for your service. Now, veterans, I think the VA appraisal will kill any deal that's not perfect. Here's what actually happens. The VA does require minimum property requirements, or MPRs. The home has to be safe and livable, but that doesn't mean it has to be brand spanking new. I've closed VA loans on homes that needed a little bit of cosmetic work. I've closed on older homes. The appraiser is looking for safety issues, not perfection. Peeling paint, missing handrails, roof damage, yeah, those are problems, okay? Outdated countertops or old carpet, not problems. The confusion comes from the fact that VA appraisals used to be more rigid. And the guidelines loosened a little bit. But again, the myth has stuck around. Now, can you buy a true fixer-upper with a VA loan? No. If the home isn't livable, you can't use a standard VA loan. But most homes on the market pass the MPRs without any issue. And this myth keeps veterans from even applying for a loan. The VA itself has no minimum credit score requirement, none. And lenders set their own minimums. And most of them will go down to 580, some will go a little bit lower if the rest of the file is strong. I've closed VA loans for veterans with credit scores in the low 600s, low 500s, and I've worked with veterans who had collections, late payments, even past foreclosures. The VA loan is designed to be very flexible to help veterans buy houses. Compared to the conventional loans, where you usually need at least a 620, and often higher if you want a decent rate. The VA loan is actually more forgiving than most people realize. If your credit isn't perfect, you can still qualify. You just need to talk to a lender or a mortgage broker like me who understands VA guidelines. And I had a veteran come to me last year who had been told by 2 other loan officers that he didn't qualify. His credit score was 590. He had a couple late payments from a medical issue. But his income was solid. He had been working the same job for over 6 years. And I ran his numbers and he qualified easily. He would close in 28 days. And he thought that the VA loan wasn't an option for him because someone else told him he needed a 640. That's not true, and it almost cost this veteran a home. Veterans see the funding fee and think it wipes out the value of the loan. The VA funding fee is real. It's usually between 2.3% and 3.6% on the loan amount, depending on your situation. And yes, that's a cost, but here's what most people miss. You're not paying private mortgage insurance. On a conventional loan with less than 20% down, you're paying PMI every month. That can be $100, $150, $200 a month or more. Over the life of the loan, PMI costs way more than the funding fee. And the funding fee is rolled into the loan. You're not bringing it to the closing in cash. You're paying off slowly over 30 years. When you actually run the math, the VA loan is still cheaper in most cases. And some veterans are exempt from the funding fee entirely. If you're receiving VA disability compensation, you don't pay it. If you're a surviving spouse, you don't pay it. Check your eligibility before you assume it's a deal breaker. The VA loan is one of the best benefits you earn, but only if you use it correctly. Don't let outdated advice or bad information keep you from taking advantage of it. You can use it more than once. Sellers will accept your offer. The appraisal will not kill your deal. Your credit doesn't have to be perfect, and the funding fee doesn't erase the value. Know the truth, and you'll save money. Now, if you want help earning your specific numbers, or you're ready to get pre-approved, go ahead and book a call with me. The link's in the description below. And if you're not quite ready yet, but you want a step-by-step plan, I put together a 6-month home buying guide that walks you through exactly what to do. I'll link that video right here.